Hey guys, it's Luca. I'm going to make another video real quick. I've gotten a few questions about this Temur deck, so let's just go through some games. I can kind of talk through them, about my thought process, how I play the deck, how I sideboard the deck, and what I think about the deck. So, this game I'm playing against, I think it's green-black, which I think is one of the deck's weaknesses. So, one of the cards I'm really least excited to play against is Fatal Push, and that is because Thing in the Ice is one of the best cards in my deck, and Fatal Push is the only really efficient way to deal with Thing in the Ice. Whether it's flipped or whether it's not flipped, it's just 1 mana and it kills it, and that's really annoying. There's actually a really big difference between answering Thing in the Ice with 1 mana and answering it with 2 mana. If you answer it with 2 mana, you basically have to take your whole second turn or third turn in order to deal with it. Or, you can only play a 2-drop on turn 4, etc. If you play like a Fatal Push on turn 3 or turn 4, it's really not slowing you down that much. And so, that being said, I really don't want to play against black decks. I'm also relying on a lot of direct damage to kill creatures, whether it's Harness Lightning, Shock, Dynavolt Tower, and a lot of the creatures in the green-black deck are very large. You'll see this come up in this match. So for that reason, I think green-black is like strategically going to be one of your worst matchups, just because of the way the strategies line up against each other. So I mean, I've played against green-black once. I won this match. It was pretty close though. And if I had to guess, I would say it's not a favorable matchup. That being said, this deck is so good against Saheeli that I'm okay like being bad against green-black, probably. So let's get on with this game. I always keep hands like this. Like, yeah, it's annoying I have to use a tune to get my lands, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. So he leads on a tune. And he's playing like a green-black energy version. I don't know if that's better or worse. I feel like it's maybe even better than the Delirium version that won Star City. Just because it's just really highly synergistic. Long Tusk Cub with Whiny Constrictor is really, really busted. Yeah, really busted together. You pay 2 energy to put 2 1/1 counters on them. That's really good. So I'm going to lead with Thing in the Ice, obviously. This hand just got really good now because I can use my attunes to get counters off Thing in the Ice. He plays a Rishgar, attacks me, and as you can see, like his Long Tusk Cub is basically already 5 toughness, which is going to be really hard to kill. Although with this deck, Harness Lightning can usually do a ton of damage. So it's my turn. I just want to use these attunes. Not both though, because I want to be as mana efficient as possible to maximize my chances of flipping this Thing in the Ice really quickly. So I could play another Thing in the Ice if I think he's going to have a removal spell, but I'm just like so far behind right now. Like, he got off to such a fast start that I think my only real chance of winning is to try to hit a 2 or less mana instant or sorcery with Anticipate, so that I can flip Thing in the Ice next turn. So now it's my opponent's turn 4. He taps out for Nissa, which is pretty good for me, assuming I can find anything. Yep. Okay, he's gonna attack me for a bunch. I'm definitely not gonna block here, and I take 10 damage. So I'm down to 7. So end of turn, I'm gonna anticipate, and I'm gonna try to look for a way to flip my Thing in the Ice next turn. So I find nothing here. I definitely want to take this Aether Hub, because assuming I draw nothing next turn, I can attune with Aether and then Scatter to Winds my own attune to flip my Thing in the Ice. So I'm going to take the Aether Hub here. It's my turn. I draw Anticipate, which is really good. Anticipate first in case I draw like another Anticipate, I guess. Or maybe like a Shock. Here, I'm not sure what I want to take. Probably Harness Lightning. Take the Harness Lightning. my hand has so much action and with double Gear Hulk that I just need to make sure I can get to my Gear Hulks. So I cast my Tomb of Ether, flip my Awaken Horror, and I can kill his Nissa. So yeah, I mean, this is the power of Thing on the Ice. I'm not even on the play here, right? I was on the draw. And he just didn't have, he either didn't have the answer to it, or he just didn't respect it. So now it should be pretty easy to win from here. Probably don't have to talk about too much stuff. Once you have like a 7-8 in play and you're playing a control deck with Gear Hulks, you just can't really lose. Like, yeah, he played Fatal Push on my guy, but it's too late. He has Aether's Fire, Harvester. So his version of the deck's playing a lot of energy stuff, which I think is really good. I think the 2-mana 2/1 that you can pay 2 energy to draw a card is really, really good. Kills Rishkar. Flip my Thing in the Ice. Get my Gear Hulk back. Kill Nissa. Plays Long Tusk Cub. Walking Ballista. And I think he scoops here. Plays a Nissa, I have a counter spell, he scoops. Okay. So let's go to game 2. So he's on the play again. So this game was super awkward. So I tried these guys. I really like this card against Long Tusk Cub. In this game, it turns out to really be a huge liability. I think I lost because I have these instead of. I think I set it out Shocks. I just didn't know his list, so I didn't know Shock was actually good against his list. So play this guy. This guy's also good against Gear Hulk. Like, sometimes your opponent just has like an 8/8 Gear Hulk, and this is totally fine. But as you'll see in this game, it was a huge liability because I can't block him because he has Menace. So I have to play my second one, which I really don't want to do because I have this Radiant Flames in my hand. So maybe that's a lesson to not board in Radiant Flames and this guy in the same at the same time. You either want to choose one or the other. He plays Harvester. He doesn't want to trade, which makes sense. And yeah, I think in these situations you just want to play. You just want to get your Dynamo Tower out. So I get that out. I want to sit back because I don't want him to be able to get energy off this guy. Plays a Cub. Fatal pushes one of my guys. And now I'm in a ton of trouble. I'm going to Radiant Flames here. I do lose my guy, but it's definitely worth it. This is going to be like my last chance really to kill this Long Tusk Cub probably. It's just 3 damage. So I get in for 1 damage, play my Radiant Flames. He plays a Gear Hulk. And this is really the issue with this matchup. Some of their creatures are so gigantic that they're really hard to kill with red spells. Although I am only 1 energy away from killing this with a Harness Lightning, right? Because I have 2, 4, 7. I can do 7 damage with Harness Lightning. In general, I think Harness Lightning is one of the best cards in Standard right now. Especially in a deck like this where you have so much incidental energy and it's not going into anything else. Well, I guess it's going into Dynamo Tower, but Dynamo Tower also gets you more energy. So yeah, I mean it's a lot like Terminate in this deck. So I do draw my Harness Lightning, but I'm 1 energy short. If I had 1 more energy, I would probably win this game. But since I can't, I'm just in a whole lot of trouble. He plays a second Gear Hulk, and that's basically it. I can't come back from this. I have to kill that guy, and yeah, super dead. Okay, so let's go to game 3. This game is really close, if I remember correctly. This is one of the very few games of this deck where I had like a little bit of mana issues. It's pretty rare. The mana is so good in this deck. In general, if you're playing like these kind of 3-color shards from is set with like Siege Rhino and everything. So if you're playing like Temur or Abzan, you're gonna have really good mana because you're gonna have manlands and you're gonna have these fast lands. So yeah, if you can, you're playing a 3-color deck. Ideally, you want to be playing in these shards that give you the manlands and the fast lands. So if he plays that, I just want to kill it right away. I don't want to mess around. He could draw a card next turn. So here, actually not sure. I think against his deck, there's nothing too devastating that he can play for 3 mana. He could play Nissa, which would be really annoying, but by itself, it's not going to pressure me. So I think Dynavolt Tower here is correct, especially since, like, looking at his lands, there's a chance that he's like mana screwed, but maybe not. He plays Transgress, so I'm pretty happy that I played my Dynavolt Tower, and I still don't have green mana, which is really awkward. This Anticipate finds me a green mana, but it's pretty late, and it's not untapped, so this could be a real issue. Plays Wine Constrictor, Long Tusk Cup. So this is the combo I'm talking about, ridiculously good. He's got 4 energy, so his Long Tusk Cup is like a 6/6 now. Really, really nice synergy there. Yeah, so I just want to start attuning, and it's also really awkward since my deck only has 1 forest. I don't think you ever want to play more than 1 forest in this deck, but I can't cast my other attune. I'm gonna kill his Winding Constrictor before he can like Blossoming Defense or something weird like that, or play like an Aether Hub. Okay, so more damage. So I get hit for 7, down to 13, but now I can finally play this Gearhulk, and I drew another Gearhulk. So I just want to fire this off right away. As long as it doesn't have like a Blossoming Defense, I'm good. And I can Harness Lightning the Long Tusk Cub for 8 damage. So this is kind of the opposite of the last game. Instead of being 1 energy short, I have exactly enough energy to kill this creature. He chooses to trade 2 energy for 1 of my energy, which is fine with me. And from here, I'm pretty far ahead. He's going to need something pretty special to get out of this. Definitely don't want to block there. In this situation, like, I'm just going to win on tempo, because I have like these 5/6s, so I can totally rate. If he's going to pay 4 mana a turn to deal 2 damage, I'm totally fine with that. Siphoner. So yeah, I just want to attune, attack, and I could have played my Gearhulk there and anticipates the only target in my graveyard, and then killed this guy before he gets to attack with it. But I want him to maybe attack with his Rishkar so that I can eat it. But he's smart, he doesn't. And so I give him an extra energy, I guess, for the chance to maybe kill this guy in combat. But I don't really care if he has more energy in this sort of game. So play my Gearhulk, get to Anticipate. And what does my Anticipate find me? Yeah, I just want to take Glimmer and kill this guy. Okay. Yeah, and so this is game. Oh no, he's at 15. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, you can tell this game's completely over. He has no way out, really. I've got Scatter and Glimmer. Yeah, I'm just gonna counter that, and that's game. Okay, so let me also go over. So the game I lost. So far I've gone 4-1 3 times with this deck. All my losses felt like I was making misplays, and that's why I was losing. A lot of the times I'd be losing to decks because I just didn't know what to play around. So it didn't feel like the deck's fault. It felt like the deck could have actually 5-0'd every time. But let me go over this game. I think this was against Saheeli, which is probably another one of the very important matchups along with green-black. So let's see who's on the play. I'm on the play here. Sand's totally fine. Othanissa finds Saheeli Rise, so I know what he's on right away. I draw a Thing in the Ice, which is always amazing. Here I could have maybe played the Aether Hub so that I could use a kill spell. But I think I'd rather do this so that if I draw Glimmer, I can potentially cast it next turn. Play Saheeli. Not sure if I should counter here. I chose to counter it. Not sure if that's correct. It ended up kind of biting me in the butt here because he's going to play an Aetherworks Marvel right now. So if I knew he had Aetherworks Marvel, I definitely would not want to counter the Saheeli. Saheeli is not that threatening. If I have a Thing in the Ice, I could potentially kill it, but Aetherworks Marvel is not what it used to be. It used to be really threatening because it would be in a deck that was playing Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot and Emrakul. So it was basically, you know, it was like a very high chance it's going to find an Emrakul. And in this matchup, it's not doing anything really devastating. I actually don't really like it in that deck. Even though I think it's a very powerful card, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if there ends up being some build of Marvel at the Pro Tour that does well. But I really don't like it in that deck. I don't think it does enough because it doesn't have like a probability of hitting a really expensive spell. Okay, anyways, back to the game. Plays a tune, plays a Whirler. So now he's up to 6 energy. He chooses not to use his Marvel, which I think is a mistake here, because now I can just Gear Hulk whatever he finds. And what does he hit? He hits a Rogue Refiner, so I think I just want to Gear Hulk that. Yep, so I Gear Hulk. I Scatter to the Winds. Oh, another thing too is Scatter to the Winds. Disallow might be better, actually. Yeah, I have a feeling Disallow might be better. The more I think about it, the more I think Disallow might be better. But I think it's very likely that Void Shatter is the third best one. Not sure though. So back to the game. He's gonna make some more energy. It's my turn here. Yeah, I think I just want to play this Dynavolt Tower before I do anything else. And these are kind of the tricky situations with the deck. So you have burn spells, but you have Thing in the Ice in play. So say I wanted to use burn spells on both of those creatures, I wouldn't really be able to because my Thing in the Ice would flip before one of the spells resolved, and it would bounce the creature that I'm trying to kill. So you have to be pretty careful with that. What you could do potentially, let's say I really wanted to kill both those creatures, I could Harness Lightning one of them, and then when I shock, I would shock my opponent's face. Then I would have it so that my Dynavolt Tower triggers, resolves before my Thing in the Ice trigger resolves, so that I get the energy, and then I can kill something with my Dynavolt Tower before it gets bounced by Thing in the Ice. So you have to be a little bit careful with that when you're playing this deck. So I'm just going to kill this Rogue Refiner because I don't want to bounce it with Thing in the Ice. And I think I just want to attack with this Gear Hulk. Hold on to the ability to flip my Thing in the Ice for now. So my opponent plays Saheeli. I can't really do anything about it. So he's trying to copy this Whirler. So this is kind of like, do I want to... I could potentially shock my opponent like I said before, and then before my Thing in the Ice flips, I'm going to get this energy, and I can kill his Whirler if I don't want it to bounce to his hand. But my other option is to kind of shock his face, and bounce this whirler so it doesn't get copied. He kind of tapped, yeah, I mean he had to tap blue-red, so he can't probably play this whirler if it bounces right here. And so when you're playing this deck too, like you have to be really careful about damage. A lot of times you can turn the corner really quickly, right? So this thing in the ice is about to flip. My opponent's at 15. I have a Dynavolt Tower trigger I can play with. I have a shock that I can play with. So putting that all together, that's 12 damage. Plus I have this Lumbering Falls. So you have to be really careful about, do I want to shock the Saheeli Rai? Do I want to shock him? The other thing to think about here is if I shock the Saheeli Rai, it's going to put him up to 6 energy, and then he can use his Marble. So I think the play here is to shock my opponent's face and bounce this Whirler so that it can't get copied by Saheeli. And then use the Dynavolt Tower for his face. So, yep, that's what happens. And I go to his face, he's at 13, and he plays another Aetherworks Marble, so now he can activate Marble again. It's my turn. So, yeah, I think I just want to attack here. Oh shoot, it might be lagging. Nope, okay. I'm going to attack his face because he's very close to dead. He uses his Marble, and I think he hits the Rogue Refiner. Yep. Now I could Gear Hulk and kill his Rogue Refiner, which I think is the right play here. So I'm going to Gear Hulk, kill his Rogue Refiner. And now he's down to 6, so I can threaten lethal with my Dynavolt Tower, even through a lot of blockers. So that's something you want to think about when you're playing this deck. You want to be very aware of, like, can I just get my opponent dead? You don't have a ton of late game power like a normal control deck would. You definitely do because you have Glimmer and Torrential Gear Hulk, but sometimes the best defense is a good offense, as they say. Sometimes you just want to put your opponent to 0 outs by killing them. And you want to be very aware of that when you're playing this deck. That's kind of how this deck functions. You're playing a lot of cards that can also put pressure on the opponent. So you want to be very aware of that aspect of the deck and play to its fullest potential. Otherwise you're giving up a lot of percentages. So he uses the Saheeli Rai, plays Servant, so now he's up to 6. He can activate his Marble. Gets a Rogue Refiner, plays a Whirler, but I don't really care because I can just kill him now. So shoot his face with Turret, with a Tower, plays Glimmer, and I can kill him. I think he scoops here. Sorry, I think Magic Online is like bugged or something, but he's definitely dead here, right? The Glimmer is going to give me enough energy to kill him with the Tower. So let's go to game 2 really quick. And so for this matchup, I didn't sideboard any cards. So when I'm sideboarding with this deck, let me pull up my deck list really quick. So I think the deck's really tight. There's a lot of synergy going on with this deck. Obviously, Torrential Gear Hulk, Dynavolt Tower, and Thing in the Ice synergize with instants and sorceries. And so every card in the deck really has an important role, except for this Negate that's floating around. Shock can be dead sometimes. Negate can be dead sometimes. Harness Lightning can be dead sometimes. So these are the cards I'm looking to side out. None of the cards here are really like game breaking. They don't really change anything. They're just like more efficient answers. I guess Natural State gives you an answer to something you might normally not have an answer to. Tireless Tracker is just a really good card. So sometimes if I find myself playing like a grindier matchup, or a matchup where I want more ways to pressure Planeswalkers, Tireless Tracker can be good. I really like Tireless Tracker in a matchup like against Green-Black Zombies, where they have this kind of like crazy inevitability with all the guys that come back from the graveyard, Prized Amalgam, Haunted Dead, and being able to just play a card like this that builds a huge presence on the board and draws you a bunch of cards is really good. It's also good against decks that just aren't doing anything early on and are trying to rely on like a Planeswalker like Gideon or something. Tireless Tracker has always been great against Gideon. But in general, like for this matchup that I'm just talking about, I felt like my main deck was great. My shocks are great. They hit the 3/2 Rogue Refiner. They hit Tireless Tracker if he's bringing it in. It hits Servant of the Conduit. It hits the Saheeli combo. Harness Lightning is obviously fantastic against any creature deck. Also stops the combo. Thing in the Ice is great against any deck that's not playing Fatal Push, and even if they are, I probably don't want to board these out. And etc, etc, etc. All these cards are great. I could potentially take out a Scatter. I could for like negates, but I don't really want to do that against a deck with a lot of creatures. I could potentially take out Anticipates for cards like Negate, Radiant Flames, if you're worried about like getting run over on tempo. But I think Anticipate is just so ridiculously synergistic with everything in your deck that you don't really want to take it out. It's also just a pretty solid card. A lot of times when you're playing this deck, you're going to win like these long games, and the reason you're going to win is because you have Anticipate, Glimmer, and Torrential Gearhulk to flash back your Glimmers, and they kind of just lead into each other. The next Anticipate will find you the next Glimmer, will find you the next Torrential Gearhulk, will flash back your Glimmer to find you the next Anticipate, to find you the next Glimmer, and so on. So I really don't like to side out Anticipate, unless I have to, right? Unless some of these cards are just so important that I need them. Anyways, let's get back to this match real quick. This hand's great. He leads on a tune, so his draw is really slow. In general, if I'm playing against a Saheeli deck, if they don't have a 2-drop, I'm already doing really well. I think it's pretty hard to lose. I also drew my 1 negate, which is pretty great. Maybe I should have sided in more negates. So I want to use my Tune with Aether there because I want to make sure I have 4 lands on turn 4 so that I can play Thing in the Ice and leave up negate. He plays a Whirler deal since I have Thing in the Ice. Play my Thing in the Ice. So he's going to play his Aetherworks Marvel. I'm going to obviously negate it. Something I want to mention really quickly is, so if you're playing like one of these Saheeli decks, or if you're playing an Aetherworks Marvel deck, you really, really want to have Dispel. Dispel is like your best defense against these kind of decks. I think it completely flips the matchup in a lot of situations, and people haven't been adopting it yet, but I think that will be the next evolution. So, something to think about. If you're playing one of these decks that's trying to resolve stuff against like a Glimmer Genius deck, Dispel is really, really important. Can win you games that you have no business winning. So I play a Tune here. I just want to leave up my Glimmer in case he does nothing. He does nothing, so I can Glimmer. And yeah, I mean, I'm so far ahead here. The only way I'm really losing a game like this is if he gets to play Ulamog somehow, which seems pretty unlikely. And yeah, he plays Nahiri, I just counter it. I could have potentially let it resolve and then killed it with Thing in the Ice, but I'd rather just get the extra damage in and not let him loot. And I think, yeah, I don't care if that resolves. Play Saheeli, that's fine. And then I can just play this Gearhulk, kill his creature, and then attack him with the manland for the kill. So that's it. That's 2 matches with this deck, one against Green Black, the other against Saheeli. I think these are going to be the 2 biggest decks in the format. at least for the next few weeks. Maybe this version of Saheeli wasn't so great because it's playing Marvel. Maybe the green-black deck I played against wasn't so great because it wasn't playing the Delirium package, but either way, I think it should still be pretty close to what the matchups look like. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe you picked some ideas up, and yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it too, so let me know what you think. Thanks.